We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Very good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Madhvi Desai, Head of Computer Science and Engineering Department of R.N.G. Patel Institute of Technology, Institute code 084 and Zone 05. Today I am going to cover base classification for the branch Bachelor of Vocation in Software Development, subject name Concepts of Data Mining, subject code 1120202. From that, Unit 5 is having the topic base classification. So in this particular lecture, I'm going to cover the concepts of base classification, the algorithm of base classification, and example of base classification. So what is the classification? In the classification technique, the naive-based classifier. So naive-based classifier is actually a statistical classifier. It predicts the class membership probability. It based on the Bayes theorem. It gives high accuracy and speed when applied to even large data sets. It assumes that the effect of an attribute value on given class is independent of the values of the other attribute. So that's why it is actually known as naive-Bayes classifier. So in summarize, we can say it is a statistical classifier. It depends on the Bayes theorem. Now we are saying that it is a naive-Bayes theorem. So what is the reason behind that? Because it is known as naive-Bayes theorem because it assumes that the effect of an attribute value on given class is independent of the values of the other attribute. It gives the higher accuracy and speed when applied to even larger data set. So first of all, we should know what is the Bayes theorem. So probability of H given X is equal to probability of X given H into probability of H divided by probability of X. So let's understand first of all one by one this term. Okay, so what is probability of H given X? So it is known as posterior probability of H conditioned on X. So this is the probability. X is a condition which is already given. And we are finding the probability of H given X. So customer X will buy a computer given that we know the customer's age and income. So we want to predict that if the customer age and income is already given, then customer X will buy a computer or will not buy a computer. So probability of H given X is the posterior probability. Then probability of H. So probability of H is a prior probability. Probability that any given customer will buy a computer regardless of age, income or any other attribute. We are not going to consider any of the attribute or any of the condition. Okay, it is known as probability that any given customer will buy a computer regardless of any of the other attribute. Then probability of X given H. It is the posterior probability of X condition on H. So what is the given? H is given. So what we want to find out, probability that any given customer will buy a computer regardless of age, income or any other attribute. Okay, so what is given? H is given means it is customer will buy a computer. Okay, so regardless of that, what is the age, what is the income or any of the other attributes. Okay, then probability of X is a prior probability. Probability that person from our set of customer is 35-year old and earned $40,000. Means that we are not taking any of the condition. Okay, what is the probability of X? Customer with particular age, with particular salary and if any of the other attribute. So this is the prior probability of X. So this is the Bayes theorem, probability of H given X and probability of X given H, that is the posterior probability. Probability of H and probability of X, the prior probability, that is prior probability on H, prior probability on X. So what we want to find, X is already given, then what is the probability that person will buy a computer or person will not buy a computer? So that is a Bayes theorem. Now we are considering a naive-Bayes theorem. So we are considering that all the attributes, okay, this is very important. We are assuming that attribute value on a given class is independent of the values of the other attributes. It is not dependent with any of the other attributes. So let's understand the naive-Bayes classification algorithm. So I will explain you one by one step. Step 1. Let D is a training set of tuples and their associated class labels. Okay, so D is having a training data set. We have for classification, it is a supervised classification method. So first of all, we require the training data set. So D is a training data set which is having what? Tuples and their associated class label. What is the step 2? So D is already given, that is training data set. Now step 2 is naive-Bayes classifier predicts that tuple X belongs to class Ci if and only if probability of Ci given X greater than probability of Cj given X for 1 less than equal to j less than equal to m, j different from I. So j and I are both two different classes, and if I'm having m is the number of classes, so for example I'm having 2 classes, then I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2, for example. So how can I say that X belongs to class C1 or X belongs to class C2? So we need to find out probability of Ci given X and probability of Cj given X. If Ci given X is greater, then I can say X belongs to class Ci. But if this condition becomes false, then I will say that X belongs to class Cj. So finally we need to find out probability of Ci given X and probability of Cj given X. Now, how we will find out Ci given X and Cj given X? So that is depends on the Bayes theorem, just we have seen. So what is Ci given X? Bayes theorem, probability of X given Ci into probability of Ci divided by probability of X. So this is our Bayes theorem. Now we move to the step 3. So we need to find out Ci given X and Cj given X depends on this particular equation of the Bayes theorem. Now step 3. We need to find out all these particular terms. X given Ci, probability of Ci and probability of X. So let's see one by one. Probability of X. It is a constant for all classes. So we need to maximize probability of X given Ci and probability of Ci. So if the step 3 says that there is no need to calculate probability of X as it is constant for both classes. Means that if that particular customer's age is 35 and salary is 40,000. For this particular customer, we are trying to find out this X belongs to Ci or X belongs to Cj. If this probability, just for an example, we are assuming that probability is 0.2. Probability of X is 0.2. Now I am dividing this Ci given X. In this also I am dividing the X given Ci into probability of Ci divided by 0.2. And in this also I am dividing by the 0.2. In both the condition, if I am dividing 0.2, it is not giving any of the impacts. Okay, so the value will be same. If this is greater, then it will be greater. If this is greater, then it will be greater. So it is not having any impact on this particular equation. So we can say probability of X is constant in both the cases, then we can omit it. Okay, so now we need to maximize only what? This two term, probability of X given Ci and probability of Ci. Now, so class prior probability maybe, so step in this case, class prior probability of Ci, how we will calculate? So probability of Ci, we need to calculate by CID divided by D. So what is CID? D is what? This is nothing, number of training data sets. For example, in a training data set, I am having the number of tuples 20. So D is what? 20. Now what is CID? CID is number of training tuples of class Ci in data set D. For example, in the 20 in a training data set, I am having 20 tuples and 12 tuples of the class C1 means class Ci and 8 tuples of the class Cj. Okay, so in this case, okay, CID means what? Number of training tuples of class Ci in D. So I'm calculating for class C1, then it is a 12. Okay, why? Because out of 20, 12 tuples are there, which is 12 tuples training tuples are there, number of training tuples are there in a data set D. So that's why CID is nothing but number of training tuples of class CI in data set D. So this is probability of CI. Now, what is the other term? So CI is calculated. Now probability of X given CI. So how we will calculate X given CI? By K equal to 1 to N probability of XK given CI. Okay, so sorry, I just, this bracket you need to assume that probability of XK given CI closing bracket. So in this case, what is this? Probability of X1 given CI into probability of X2 given CI into probability of Xn given CI. So if I need to calculate X given CI, I need to calculate X1 given CI, X2 given CI, Xn given CI. I need to calculate all this term. I need to find all this term, and multiplication of all this term is nothing but probability of X given Ci. Same way I need to calculate for X given Cj. So that is a step 4. Now again, when we are calculating about Xk given Ci, we need to take two assumptions. My attribute is a categorical and my attribute is a continuous. If AK attribute is a categorical, okay, my attribute is categorical, then probability of Xk given Ci is the number of tuples of class Ci in D having the value Xk for AK divided by CID, the number of tuples of class Ci in D. So means what we need to find out? Number of tuples. Okay, in the particular data set, if I'm considering in a data set D, number of tuples of class C1. In that tuples also, for example, in a class C1, I'm having the data set D of 20 tuples. From that class C1 having the data tuples of 12. Now in this 12 tuples, how many tuples are there of class C1 which is having the value AK for the X, for the attribute XK. So for example, that is 6. Then 6, that is the divided by CID, means the number of tuples of class C1 in the data set D. So number of tuples of class Ci in D. So if AK is a categorical, then we need to find out probability of Xk given Ci, in which number of tuples of class Ci in D having the value AK for the attribute Xk divided by total number of tuples of class Ci in D. But if AK is a continuous value, okay, my attribute is not a categorical, it is a continuous, then we need to assume that my all the data having the Gaussian distribution. Okay, so I'm assuming that my all data in a data set having the property that all data are distributed in a Gaussian manner with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. So it is defined by probability of Xk given Ci, G of Xk mu Ci sigma Ci 1 upon root 2 pi sigma e raised to minus x minus mu no whole square divided by 2 sigma square. So we are assuming if my data is categorical, and what about my data is a continuous. Now step 5. To predict the class label of X, probability of X given Ci into probability of Ci is evaluated for each class. So we need to calculate X given Ci into probability of Ci as per the last 4 steps. Same way for the Cj class. If this value is greater or this value is greater, that we need to find out. If this value is greater, then I can say that X belongs to class C1. If this value is greater, then I can say that X belongs to class Cj. So this is about all the steps of the algorithm of Naive-Bayes classification. Okay. Now I will take one example which is already given in Hunt and Camber in this particular lecture. So this is the by computer example. We have these 4 attributes: age, income, student, credit rating, and final class, that is the will purchase the computer or not. So age is less than equal to 30, 31 to 40 and greater than 40. So we are considering less than equal to 30. That is the, we can say it is these 3 types of data is available into age: less than equal to 30, 31 to 40 and greater than 40. In income also we are having low income, medium income and high income. Student rating, that is it's a student, then yes or no. Credit rating, that is the fair, excellent. Okay, there are two types we have taken in a credit rating. And the computer will purchase a computer, yes or no. This is our class, yes or no. So class C1 we are considering by computer equal to yes. Class C2 we are considering by computer equal to no. So data sample, X is equal to age less than equal to 30, income is equal to medium, student equal to yes, credit rating is equal to fair. So this X is already given. We have two classes, C1 and C2. C1 is about yes and C2 is about no. We need to calculate that X belongs to class C1 or X belongs to class C2. So now let's see one by one step. First, we need to find out probability of CI. So we need to find out probability of C1 and we need to find out probability of C2. So probability of C1, how we will calculate? Probability of by computer equal to yes. Now we need to calculate what is the number of tuples in D. So number of tuples in the training data set are 14. Now from out of 14, how many tuples are of the class C1? That is yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So 9 tuples having the value class equal to yes. So probability of class C1 is 9 divided by 14, that is 0.643. Now probability of by computer equal to no. So in this particular class we need to calculate that how many tuples having the value equal to no. So that is the 5 values having the 5 tuples are there, that is having the value no. So that is 5 divided by 14, that is the 5 divided by 14 is nothing but probability of by computer equal to no. So this is the probability of class C1, this is the probability of class C2. Now we need to calculate probability of CI, we have already calculated. Now we need to calculate probability of X given CI. So how we will calculate probability of X given CI? That is probability of age is less than equal to 30. Okay, what is given? Age less than equal to 30, income equal to medium, student equal to yes, credit rating equal to 4. This many tuples we need to consider. Okay, so probability of age less than equal to 30, and what is given? By computer equal to yes. What is given? By computer equal to no. If we are considering by computer equal to yes, then what is the probability that age is less than equal to 30? If we are considering what is given by computer equal to no, then what is the probability that age is less than equal to 30? Okay, so we need to find out from our training data set that by computer equal to yes. Now in this by computer equal to yes, how many tuples having the value age is less than equal to 30? Okay, so if we are considering this, not age is not 30, greater than 40, greater than 40, greater than 40. Now again here yes, 31 to 40. Here less than equal to 30, less than equal to 30. So from this 9 tuples, there are 2 tuples which are having age is less than equal to 30. So what is that? 2 divided by 9. 2 divided by 9 is the probability 0.222. Now probability of age is less than equal to 30 given that by computer equal to no. We know that how many tuples are there in a training data set with by computer equal to no? 5. Now from this 5 tuples we need to calculate that how many tuples are having the age is less than equal to 30. Okay, so we will be able to find out 3 tuples. So 3 divided by total number of tuples by computer equal to no, that is 5. So 3 divided by 5 is what? 0.6. So that is we have calculated probability of age less than equal to 30 given that by computer equal to yes. Probability of age less than equal to 30 given that by computer equal to yes. So X is what which we need to calculate for which we need to calculate the X is belongs to class C1 or X belongs to class C2. So this is one attribute. What is another attribute? Income equal to medium. So again we need to calculate that probability that income equal to medium given that by computer equal to yes. Probability of income equal to medium given that by computer equal to no. Okay, so by computer equal to yes, how many tuples are there which are having by computer equal to yes in training data set? 9. Now from this 9, how many tuples are there in which income equal to medium? That we need to calculate. So that you will be able to find out 4. So 4 divided by 9, that is the probability of this income equal to medium given that by computer equal to yes. Now probability of income equal to medium given that by computer equal to no. So how many tuples are in a data set which are having by computer equal to no? So that is 5. Now from these 5 tuples, how many tuples are there in which income equal to medium? So you will be able to find out 2. So what is the value? 2 divided by 5. So 0.4. Now what is the next for X? That is student equal to years is given. So we need to calculate probability of student equal to years given that by computer equal to years. Okay, so 6 divided by 9. Probability of student equal to years given that by computer equal to no is equal to 1 divided by 5. So that is 0.2. Okay. So this is about probability of student equal to yes. Now what is the next thing? Probability of credit rating is equal to fair. And same way we need to calculate, that is 6 by 9 and 2 by 5. Why we have considered this value only? Because it is given in the example that if the X is having age less than equal to 30, income equal to medium, student equal to years, credit rating equal to fair, we need to calculate that this X person is belongs to class C1 or class C2. That is by computer equal to yes or by computer equal to no. Okay, so in this way we need to calculate probability of X given CI. We have already calculated probability of CI. Now we need to do the multiplication. Okay, so probability of X given CI, X given by computer equal to yes. So we need to do the multiplication here about in this way. 0.222, 0.444, 0.667, 0.667. Why? We need to do the multiplication for all by computer equal to yes. So do the multiplication of all this yes and do the multiplication for by computer equal to no. It will give you probability of X given CI and probability of X given CJ. Okay, so you can see here X given CI, that is by computer equal to yes, X given CJ, that is by computer equal to no. So this is our about probability of X given CI. Now we need to calculate probability of X given CI into probability of CI. So that is 0.028 and 0.007. Okay, so now we need to compare these two values. Okay, for yes and for no, which value is greater? 0.007 is greater or 0.028 is greater? So whatever the greater value, that is our answer. So our greater value is 0.02. That's why we can say that person X is belongs to class C1, that is by computer equal to yes. Okay, so once you have for all the classification method, one more topic I have covered there, that whenever you are considering any of the classification method, you need to calculate the value, you need to evaluate that classifier. So you have the which are the accuracy parameters available for this. So you can go with the training and testing. So you have the data set available, you need to divide into training data and testing data. So the ideal is 2 by 3 is the training data and 1 by 3 is the training data, and use for data set with large number of samples. Cross validation. You can go with the cross validation also, means what? Whatever the training data is, when you are not having the large number of samples available, then you cannot go with the partition training and testing. At that time, you should go with the cross validation. Means what? The total number of data samples are available. Divide the whole data samples, divide into k subsamples, and use the k minus 1 subsamples as training data and 1 subsample as testing data. That is known as k-fold cross validation. This k can be anything. For example, I am considering 5-fold cross validation or 10-fold cross validation, and I am having the 100 data set having the 100 samples. So what I will do, I will divide the whole 100 data set into the 10 samples, subsamples. So 10, 10, 10, 10. In this way, I am dividing into the 10 subsamples. Now what I will do, first 10 data I will consider for the testing, and other all these 9 subsamples I will consider for the training. So this 9 samples, 9 subsamples I will consider for training, and 1 sample I will use for the testing. Second time I will use 1, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9 and 10. These 9 subsamples I will use for training, and second subsample I will use for the testing. Same for the other. So that is known as cross validation. Even you can use the bootstrapping, leave one out. So for small size data, we take one subsamples, we take it out, and other we use for the training. Okay, so that is a bootstrapping. So I've used in the reference, I have used the Hun and Camber book of the data mining concepts and techniques. So overall in this lecture, we have seen in the classification, we have seen the Bayes classification method. Bayes classification is the statistical classifier. You need to use the Bayes theorem for that. In the Bayes theorem, we have used basically probability of X we can omit as it is a constant value for both the classes. Then you need to find out probability of Ci and probability of X given Ci. Okay. So probability of Ci you need to calculate, probability of X given Ci you need to calculate. In this way you will be able to find out probability of Ci given X. So same way you need to calculate probability of Cj given X. Whatever value is higher, that will be your final classifier. So in this way Bayes classifier will work, and it can be used for the larger data set also. So this is a very important classification method in the data mining. So thank you very much, all the students from RNGPIT GTU family. Thank you.